Hello, today I am supposed to read chapter 4. While I'm waiting for the doctor to come in, I want to steal some time to share with you. So, chapter 4 of this book called Coaching with Respect is a huge topic because it is giving you a lot of fundamentals, because the title is the respect scaffolding. Okay, so I will see how it goes. If I can complete the chapter, then it's good. If not, then I will read whatever is possible. And you might want to get the book from Captain Shan, or you can contact team coach for that. So forgive me, I'm not taking any I'm not on any makeup, so it's purely the room's light and so forth. Okay, nothing to be alarmed about. In fact, I look better, right? Self-praise. Okay, chapter 4, the respect scaffolding. Motivation is the art of getting people to do what you want them to do because they want to do it. The Eisenhower, a quote from him by Captain Shan. He took that out. Okay, the respect model is particularly relevant in team coaching for the obvious reason that nothing can be more important than mutual appreciation and acknowledgement in a group learning and development setting. Are you a coach? There is a plethora of terms used to label the roles differently practitioners place in field of learning and development, or we normally just say L&D. This is hardly surprising given that coaches who function in this arena use a number of approaches and tools, meaning they wear a number of hats to impart knowledge, teach skills, and effect personal growth. Theirs is the business of furnishing minds as well as shifting thinking to facilitate varying degrees and levels of progressions. Undoubtedly, there is no single way of achieving this. How do you, as a coach, move an individual on the next level? This is a recurring question that must be addressed because it concerns the similarities and differences between the various professional enablers of performance improvement. Teachers, consultants, trainers, and instructors also set out to enable growth in their participation. So sometimes when you don't think about it, you just see the word and read, then it will be very smooth. And if I'm just to follow the spelling, then I always got caught. So this is one I have to learn and keep learning and improving. It is useful to understand what changes can be affected and how they are delivered within specific modes of learning. Clients must be able to tell these differences so they know who best to approach in their quest for progression or transformation. Do they turn to a consultant, teacher, trainer, instructor, therapist, or coach? In the early years of my involvement in the industry, I was somewhat hazy in my understanding of these varying roles. I noticed that people were using the professional terms interchangeably. I have the answer now. After having acquainted myself with experiential learning and experimentation, we absorb information in different ways, and this is seen in the way learning styles have described in literature by Dewey, 1915, Learning by Doing by Wolf and Bernice, 1975, Experience-Based Learning, Kolb's, 1984. Learning theory sets out 4 distinct learning styles or preferences, which are based on 4-stage learning cycle: doing, feeling, watching, thinking. Overall, learners tend to respond to the learning approach that best fits their experiences, personalities, interests, and capacity. What was obvious to me was that people learning styles and preferences differs, and in coaching there is no one size fits all. It is situational, and a combination of approaches can enhance the learning process through enablement and empowerment. Indeed, these two elements are crucial in coaching, and whatever combinations are applied, participants often take ownership of the learning and set their own action plans and the course of action. The big picture. Two keywords, directive and enabling, are fundamental to understanding the processes involved in learning and development. These are at the opposite ends of learning and development spectrum. We need to look at how directive or enabling we are in supporting others to reach their goal of transformation. Putting the different process of human development under the microscope helps to give better outcomes to diverse group of individuals and teams, with each group requiring specific methods of learning relevant to their situations and goal. The diagram below illustrates the directive approach where knowledge is from an external source, and enabling approach where there is a utilization of self-knowledge. So, can you see this? I hope you can get one of his book when you turn to this page while I read. Then at least you can do your own revision or thoughts or whatever you need at that time when you reach this page. Because I cannot read it out. Diagram is not possible to read out yet. Or is it possible? Let me try and I'll look for ways to do it next time. Or in other words, you can send me an email, but not fair. You might as well buy the book from them. It won't cost you much because the education and the time and everything that they spend on this book is worth much more than the price of the book itself. Okay, so no, I don't think I will give you this even if you email me, but connect to Team Coach and buy the book from them. If Captain Shan is available, he might even give it to you free if you are keen about coaching. So let's see how it goes. I said he might, so it's between you and him. One can say that because common teaching and training processes are steeped in the tradition of top-down information flow, individuals supported within these domains are in the main learners seeking new skill and knowledge to fit their early development needs. They find the straight down the line approach of receiving knowledge beneficial to their fundamental needs to be informed, educated and prepared to enter a new or different profession. Professionals delivering at the end of L&D skill include instructors, teachers, tutors, and lecturers. They perform their roles in prescriptive manner which may not cater for active learner participation. Here in this directive approach, the learning style preclude self-discovery and the delivery or teaching modes are, more often than not, highly formulated and inorganic. It might look easy when you look at the thing, but if you really, when you look at the diagram, but if you really go into it, it tells a different story. So I really hope you can look into this one. Inevitably, the learning development of directive approach tends to be less emotional and spiritually enriching as learners are not encouraged to search for their own answers. At the other end of the spectrum, coaching is part of an enabling approach, providing the scaffolding for participatory learning through self-explorative and experiential means of learning and development. The journeys one negotiates through the coaching process tap into one's existing knowledge and skills and allow individuals, groups, and organizations to determine their own possibilities. motivating them to utilize their individual expertise in ways that are relevant to them. Notably, as non-subject matter experts, coaches do not operate in the same way as trainers and teachers do. This makes coaching a tool more appropriate for those not really there to gain information, but rather wanting to explore how best to utilize their accumulated knowledge to move on. This is when a person is deemed ready to go from the present to the better future, having already acknowledged and professional competencies to support their drive. When a person is ready, coaching is appropriate. Where knowledge and skills are absent, direct teaching method would be preferred tools of enlightenment. Here it is a question of how much an individual already knows in terms of subject matter as opposed to how much he still needs to know in order to move on. When a person is confident with his knowledge base, he may decide that he needs coaching to help him explore and decide how he can take off and where he can land. You, as a coach, have a role to play now. Learning for empowerment. Empowerment is a very big word. A lot of people say, I give you empowerment, but they still hold the invisible fishing line behind. So that is not empowerment. So for those who are using empowerment, I hope you look into it. I'm also reminding myself. Guilty as charged. Coaching is an innovative way of securing professional and personal improvement, combining present competency and fresh thinking to chart new pathways. And as an enabler, coaches empower learning. They do not force the learning in the traditional top-down approach. Their non-directional method encourages individuals and teams to develop their own goals and set their own course of action. Not surprisingly, coaching is said to be increasingly invigorating others in the learning profession, namely teachers, trainers, lecturers, and leaders who recognize its enormous potential. Within the context of coaching, the use of experiential learning can pose a challenge. This is because it pushes both personal and group boundaries, engaging participants in the rigorous of character building. They embark on unfamiliar terrains, delving deep to reach a level of self-awareness. This process may seem daunting at first to new coaches and participants alike, but self-discovery is a powerful experience. It can be achieved in the hands of a good coach who can ensure these organically transformative methods thrive in the learning and development environment. At the end of the day, participants will have understood and experienced these exacting demands and challenges in the coaching process that could bring about the desired transformation. To put it simply, the choice between coaching, training, or mentoring is situational. Human development is reliant on levels of knowledge, skills, and motivation. It isn't enough just to know how to do the job. If you want to increase the value of your input as a coach, you must have the will to reach out for the change in your participation, for your change in your participants. Without that will and motivation, skill and knowledge about coaching are rendered redundant and progression will not happen. With highly skilled professionals as participants who are not lacking in motivation but are nevertheless perplexed by the number of options open to them, coaching can ignite the process of self-exploration and uncover their potential. Coaches facilitate the decision-making process. The individual will be supported to reassess his needs, and in team coaching, communal interactions helps a group of collectively map out their routes, consensually arriving at a desired destination. In all this, the R.E.S.P.E.C.T model is applied to harness the coaching process by responding to human sensibility and sensitivity within the learning and development environment. As mentioned earlier, because the human condition is complex, there is no one size fits all in coaching. A combination of approaches may be required, so both directional and non-directional methods can be applied. Sometimes content may have to be administered, and this is not in the domain of coaching. Coaches must be aware that they may inadvertently step into directional mode. This should not be the case. The coach steps in once the enabling is deemed necessary. Goal identification is paramount. Occasionally, personal goals and team goals may give rise to conflict in team coaching, and in this case, as long as the principle of respect are applied, group challenges can be handled appropriately, as you will see later. The coaching process can indeed benefit participants at both individual and group levels of engagement. Respecting the individual and the collective voice in team coaching. The respect model is particularly relevant in team coaching for obvious reason that nothing can be more important than mutual appreciation and acknowledgement in a group learning and development setting. The more you have to work with other people to collectively engineer change, the more you have to look closer at yourself in relation to others. Mutual respect and cooperation are unwritten prerequisites to producing good teams outcome. This is particularly significant in coaching, where individual internal and external values collide and collude during the experiential and explorative stage of coaching. The diversity that individuals bring into team coaching, be it from the point of experience, talent, or aspiration, dictates a high level of understanding of the principle of good communication and respect. There is no compromise in respecting individual perspective with fostering good working practices based on shared value. Personal goals will be respected and acknowledged, but team coaching demands that these are put aside to make room for a collective goal. This, in essence, is the foundation to procuring good team results, enabling participants to share the success and take further collective action for the good of the group or the organization they represent. As a team coach capital, it is important to understand the dynamics of group decision making. This will assist us as a coach to use the appropriate process to help the team arrive at its destination. In the Facilitator's Guide to Participatory Decision Making, second edition, Sam Kenner, ETAL, John Worley and Sons Incorporated, 2007, Kenner points out that what we normally assume will take place in group decision making, that does not happen. This means that there are many factors at play in a team setting, and the coach must be mindful to how these impact the processes at hand. As mentioned in Chapter 2, IAC defines coaching as a transformation process for personal and professional awareness, discovery, and growth. This definition can also be applied to the team coaching. The team needs to be aware of where they are and discover the various possibilities that may get them to where they want to go and decide on the appropriate action for growth. We assume that a team gets together and collectively get a goal. They brainstorm and come up with various solutions, and the team members accept the best idea and they throw out the team's action plan, and the job is done. This is not always the case. Yeah, you must always remember, in a team, when it involves company, the person who is your boss and having the final say on financial investment have to be the one who give directive for goal setting. Because if you are just a middle management or a GM, without such power, you can do wonders with the group, but the bosses just don't want it, then it's just going to be demotivating for many of your team members. So this is one point I like you to consider before you get hoo-ha about team coaching, because it is such a powerful tool and you don't want to let them down. Okay, goals and chaos. In the absence of respect, chaos can take center stage. What I have observed from team coaching session is that there can be incompatibility of personality, styles, opinions, and goals among participants. Well, this happens. We are all human. We are all supposed to be different. So just accept it and then tackle each one accordingly. If left unchecked, this can result in a less than favorable outcome for all involved. Chaos, confusion, delays, purposelessness, and hasty decision are among some of the results of poor group dynamics. Indeed, if there is no structure or process plan for team discussion or meetings, the following can happen when the team gets together and set a goal. Number one, some do not agree with the goal. Some do not understand the goal. Some do not see their benefits. Some are not clear why they are there in the first place. Some feel it's the leader agenda and let them get on it. Now, this is mostly our culture. Number 5. Number 6, some might have be present physically but not mindful of the current situation. This is the pandemic situation. Next, when the goal is not really understood or made clear, the following can happen during discussion and brainstorming. Number 1, individuals do not think collectively. Those who think they know what the goal is will express their ideas. Generally, extroverts will start voicing out their opinions and conflict may arise. And the other one is, if a group of peers, the question of who is in authority and power arises. People love power. Well, that's what I hope you can consider when you are in a team. Power struggles can ensue. This makes it even harder to create team cohesion and promote collective thinking. Number 2, exclusion. Some members need more clarification and feel frustrated if they do not understand. They start to feel excluded and begin to lose confidence. I'm sure once or twice you might have the same feeling. I do. The discussion may seem to be chaotic and few will just take a backseat to avoid confrontation. Some will not participate as they feel that the whole session is a waste of time and resources. Some will withdraw. The body is there but the mind is not. 3, loss of interest due to lack of ownership of the processes. Some will be too attached to their ideas and will not want to let go or compromise. Some may simply feel it is pointless to engage and will drift away. 4, weakness and indecisiveness. There will be a lot of yes but statement. Yes but statement. They don't agree, but then they also neither agree. So they agree to disagree. So this is the thing that sometimes make things more difficult. There will be those who are unconvinced and make only half-hearted attempts to give their input. Number 5, negativity. The discussion will turn to be problem-centered, creating more negativity in the room. This will drain the team energy and members experience fatigue and agitation. This will happen especially when it's power struggle and the person who give opinions don't even know what they're talking about. And then they say, you should walk the talk. So you have a lot of people like that. Number 6, hasty decisions and no commitments. In such scenarios, the meeting will adjourn or some decisions are made for sake of concluding the meeting as the time allocated is used up. There will be no proper closure and members will leave feeling unsettled. The danger of such closure is that there will be no full commitment forthcoming from all members to execute the action plans that have been decided upon. So closure is also very important. Actually, closure, I feel that is still my weakness that I must find solution for, because I sometimes I want to carry on, but the time is draining my participant. So this is one thing I need to polish upon and read more about. Number 7, low moral and non-achievements. You will not realize the full potential of the team and the team spirit will deteriorate. We will continue to waste more resources and time trying to achieve the desired goals. Group dynamics. As mentioned above, the diversity in group setting must not be ignored. It must be acknowledged and respected. But how do we create a good balance between respecting the individual and ensuring collective thinking? What are the things we need to be mindful of in approaching a group of individuals who have come together for a purpose? The key word here is individuals, and we must be aware that although we are working with a team, each team member comes with his own wisdom, experience, talents, issues, and personalities. This is what I like about team. But to encourage that kind of values to come out, it takes more than coaching, or at least it takes longer coaching. Let's see what happens. There are bound to be differences in opinions and conflicts, and this can rear their ugly heads where individuals are struggling to let go of their own personal agendas and self-interest. So as a team coach, you need to understand the diversity while keeping an eye on the expected group outcomes. It is a fine balance. It is not about dismissing the person's own valid experiences and skills altogether, but finding the right formula to fit in the collective goal. Okay, 61, 62. Dismissing the person's own valid experience and skills altogether, but finding the right formula to fit in the collective goal. There are two distinct ways in which a group operates. Given its diversity, a group can take a while before individuals start to gel and work using one voice. Some groups get to this point of consensus faster than others because the dynamics allow for easier integration and collaboration. Individuals here are quicker to respect and accept differences, are capable of thinking cohesively with the bigger picture in view. Yet some teams simply need more intervention in the part of the coach in order to understand what co-solutioning and co-designing means. Then the group have to revisit the goals and objectives. So since Captain Shan have this book available, I will put a request to Captain Shan. If you write to him, I hope he can give you one, but you bear for the courier charges, because there is so many values here that you can use, especially if you are a coach. And it's written by Captain Shan, who is the IAC president, the present president. So it's a book worth even buying also. So I'm not selling, I don't know how much, whether he's selling or not, but I'll send a message to him, because the next one I won't read, because this is his structure which he have used, and also he have taught us on for those who have been coached by him or mentored by him. I feel that do you want to take a look at this page? This is page 63. So I won't read this page. Leave some room for you to do your own homework. Okay. Then I'll skip page 62 and 63 and jump straight to page, no, my doctor is coming, so I'm going to stop here. So I will continue tomorrow with group development on chapter 4. For those who are not a coach and you're just listening, maybe because you're curious, like I always say, you just need to understand 1%. And if you need more information, you can either contact Team Coach International, which I already put the link there, or you can send me an email. I cannot remember whether I put my email address or not, but now I'm going to put it there again, so you can send it to me. Tomorrow I'll reach chapter 4, the second part of it. So I hope everybody have extra 1% today. Thank you. Stay healthy.